Oh, hi there. I'm glad to see you again. David here with the Oakville Symphony and Oakville Community Classrooms. I'm trying to record this third video. Oh, did you watch the first two? If not, they're linked in the description below. But I'm happy you're here because I could really use your help. You see, something seems to be wrong with my violin. It just doesn't sound right. Did you notice? See if you can help me out. Can you tell me when it sounds right? Did that sound right to you? Yeah, it didn't sound right to me either. How about now? Oh no, now it's even worse. You know what might help? Maybe if you help me to remember what a violin is supposed to sound like, then I could play it properly. Can you do me a favor? If you could imitate the sound of a violin by singing or humming, or if you're not comfortable with that, just think really hard about the sound you're expecting to hear. Maybe then I can get it right. Okay, are you ready? 3, 2, 1, go! Oh yeah, I think you've got it. Okay, let me try again. Hey, that's it. I think we fixed it. I'm so happy my violin is back to normal. Oh no, not again. Well, I'll have to figure out what's wrong with my violin later, but in the meantime, it got me to thinking, how were we able to tell that my violin didn't sound right? I mean, what is it about a musical sound, or any sound for that matter, that distinguishes it from another musical sound? For example, why do we know that a French horn sounds like a horn, but a snare drum sounds like a drum? And how is it we would never mix up the two, but we might mistake the sound of a cello for the sound of a double bass? Well, it all comes down to our third element of music, tone color, or timbre. Tone color is, well, it's the way that a sound sounds. Okay, well, it's the unique quality of a tone that makes it sound like itself. Maybe a dictionary will help us. Tone color is the quality of a musical sound that is conditioned or distinguished by the upper partials or overtones present in it. Ugh. Well, that didn't help at all. Look, in simple terms, what does tone color really mean to us? If it describes the sound that you hear, or it identifies how the sound was made, and if it's not one of the other elements, like pitch or rhythm, then it's probably tone color. Well, I guess I can understand that. Sometimes it helps to look at some words that describe tone color to get a sense of what it means. Buzzing is tone color. Banging is tone color. Squeaking is tone color. And plucking is also tone color. So, Tone color isn't how fast or slow a sound is, or how high or low. It's the unique quality of sound. It's the sound of the sound. It's the way we identify how a sound was created. Musical instruments can be grouped into families based around how those instruments create their sounds. For example, there are hundreds of instruments around the world that belong to the string family. Instruments like the banjo, the vina, or the oud. Many string instruments share a similar tone color because they make sound in a similar way. They have tight strings that vibrate by either plucking or strumming them, like the guitar, bowing them, like the violin, or hammering them, like the santur. In a Western European orchestra, like the Oakville Symphony, the string family of instruments always includes the violin, the viola, the cello, and the double bass, but can also include others like the harp. String instruments are often good at creating tone color that is smooth, flowing, lush, and rich. The wind family of instruments are those that you blow into to make musical sound, and they are divided into the brass instruments, like the trumpet, trombone, and French horn, which have mouthpieces that you buzz your lips against, and the woodwind instruments, like the flute, oboe, and clarinet, which often have mouthpieces with thin, vibrating wooden reeds. The brass instruments are especially good at creating tone color that is bright, loud, and often clearly heard above the rest of the orchestra. The woodwind instruments perhaps have the most variety in the tone color of their sounds. For example, the oboe uses a double reed and can make a very pure, intense tone color. But the flute doesn't use a reed. It has an embouchure hole that splits the airstream, and so its tone color sounds more airy and light than the oboe's. The percussion family is probably the most diverse family in the European orchestra, and it includes all kinds of instruments like shakers, drums, and mallet keyboard instruments. Percussion instruments are usually struck with sticks or the hands, but they can also be shaken, scraped, tapped, or even bowed. Listen to all the different tone colors that Lorne is able to get out of his percussion instruments. It's this enormous collection of different tone colors through the different instrument families in an orchestra that makes it possible for musicians to create vastly different stories, feelings, and representations through orchestral music. And skilled musicians even have the ability to create very different tone colors with just one instrument. For example, a violinist can vary the pressure, placement, and attack of the bow on the strings to create the crunchy sound of a heavy, creaking door opening. The light call of a bird. The growing and fading sound of a passing car. Or even the sound of a mouse caught in a mousetrap. If you imagine the orchestra just like it is a painter's palette, where every daub of bright paint on the board is an instrument in the orchestra ready to create and blend color with the other instruments on a clean canvas, and the conductor's baton, or the composer's pencil, is just like the painter's brush, then I'd say you've got an excellent sense of what tone color really means.